everybody, I'm art teacher Amy and I welcome you to another art lesson. This one is on Hogwarts Castle and welcome Elmont Library students. I'm glad you could join me today. So we have, I'm sure if you're watching this you probably have heard of Harry Potter and probably seen some of the movies, maybe you read the books. So I've actually read most of the books. I got up to number 6. I read them all in a row and then I couldn't finish number 7, but I've seen old movies a million times. I am a big Harry Potter fan and I'm excited to draw the castle with you today because this is a really fun drawing. So I'm going to give you some ideas for supplies you could use today depending on what you have at home. Maybe if you get a chance you could pause the video and come back because it'll be up for a few weeks. And you could grab a few supplies from Target. That they have a number of nice Crayola supplies that are really affordable. So yeah, here we have, I have a great book about Harry Potter. It's called Hogwarts and Beyond Poster Book. And if you're a fan, I don't know if your library has this, but I got it, I think I got it used on Amazon. And it just has a lot of great pictures from the movies, and we've got all the teachers, the professors, let's see, and then of course the different beasts that were in a lot of the different movies, and then it goes actually by the years also, so year 2, year 3, year 4. It's a really cool book. So I like to do a little quiz on what we are drawing, and today I have a couple of questions for you about Harry Potter and the castle. So number 1, what are the 4 houses at Hogwarts? So there's 4 different groups of kids, students that the sorting hat puts you into, right? And if you know a lot about Harry Potter, I'm sure you could say these pretty quickly. If you don't, then that's okay. You can learn about the different ones. So this image here actually has an animal for each one of them. So the one that Harry Potter is in, Gryffindor. Gryffindor. Okay, the one that Snape is the head of, so there's a professor in charge of each group, and so he is in charge of Slytherin. Okay, then there is Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. 4 houses. So, and each one was named after one of the original founders of the school. So let's see, number 2, who are Harry's 2 best friends? And I'm sure, again, if you've read the books, watched the movies, you know this. There is Hermione, his one friend, the girl, Hermione Granger. And his other friend, Ron Weasley, right? One of the Weasley family. They have like, how many kids? 5 kids? So there's a few of our questions for today. And how about one more? Do you know where the Hogwarts Castle is located? Is it England? Scotland? Is it somewhere in between? So I still have not found that question out, but I know it's either England or Scotland, because if you look on a map, Scotland actually touches the top of England. So we know they take the train, right, out of London on track 9, is it? Shoot, I can't remember. 9A? So they take the train to Hogwarts, and we know they're going, I'm guessing that, yeah, they have to be going north, so we don't know, somewhere in England or Scotland, I imagine, but of course it's hidden to remember what the name of the regular people are? The Muggles. So they can't see it, right? So it's just for the wizards and people who can see the magic and do magic. So yeah, so it's called the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Okay, so there's our questions for today. So to show you just a few images, there are actually a number of different views of this castle. If you want to Google Hogwarts Castle and put in images, you can find different ones if you want to try this again on your own. This is the one I found that we are working from. So we have the castle. Let's see here, there we go. So we have the main part of the castle. This is where a lot of the dorms are, right? Over here, this is the Great Hall where they have some of those very cool parties, like the Halloween one with all the candy and things, candles floating. So we have this bridge, if you remember at the end of movie 8, they actually have a battle across this bridge. So we're going to be doing these curves. We have some hills or like big rocks. And then I actually squeezed in, even though we don't have it here, I made this a little bigger and put in the lake that's over there behind the castle, which you can see better on this one. So here again, this is another view of our castle today. So we have, so we're doing this section here, which you can see there's we're gonna be doing this middle part with the window and the tall thin windows. And then this is the other part that we're actually not doing. Well, we're doing up to here. And then we see about half of this really tall building, but we're not doing the Great Hall. So here's our bridge. Here's our hills coming down, and these huge rocks coming down. I suppose if you, oh, actually I did get the little stairs in my picture up there. We could do the stairs. I didn't put in the little house down here. If you would like to do that, you could. And so here's our water down here. So that's, I kind of put the lake going around the whole, I guess the whole backside coming over here. So, okay. So you could be, so as far as supplies go today, this one I did in colored pencil. So the colors you're going to need today are, you're going to need at least 2 browns, I would say, or you could do 2 browns and a black. If you have 3 browns, that's even better. So you want like a dark brown, a tan, and then I actually did like a light black. You could also have, you could use light green, dark green, maybe a tiny bit of yellow, some blues. The sky is up to you. You could do blue sky, or I did, this one is like sunset, so I have yellow and orange. So this one's colored pencil, so that would be an option. Then this one I did in markers, and for this one I would actually recommend, so I'm going to show you the markers you could use. So this one you will need, same thing, markers, it might be a little harder to find some tans, but if you do have some tan markers, this one I did, again, brown, a tan, like almost a peach, some tan on the bridge. You could do green, a couple different greens, light green, dark green. I got light green on the trees, a little blue here, and light blue sky. So as far as paper goes, these are just a few pads that I have on hand. You might have saw, I might have mentioned them to you in the last video if you saw that. So this is, you definitely want a decent pad of drawing paper. That is really important if you like to draw. So this one you can get on Target. It's Strathmore Mixed Media, and it comes in a little bit bigger size. I definitely say get a 9x12. That's a little small. This one is the Canson XL watercolor paper. Amazon has it for $6. Great price, 30 sheets, and it's 140-pound paper. It's very thick. You can do almost anything. Actually, you can do pretty much any material medium that you want to use. Watercolors, colored pencils, oil pastels, markers are okay. And then this one is Strathmore Bristol board. This one's really nice if you like to just do a lot of drawing. The paper is just really smooth, and it's really nice for colored pencil. and markers. So then as far as just getting some basic supplies, if you don't have any yet, or if you just have some of these at home, this is great. Crayola 10 count classic colors, definitely recommend these. Those are all your basic colors. And then we've got 10 count bold and bright. Now for this lesson, I definitely recommend getting this set also. They're both $2.50 at Target. This one is really great because you end up getting a light green for your, if you're gonna do markers, you get light green and a light blue for the sky or the water. And if you would like to, so if, like I said, I'm doing this one in colored pencils. I think it works really well for colored pencils. This is the 24 count Crayola set. This is just $3 at Target. It has every color that you need. It has light greens, light blues, tans and browns, and a bunch of oranges and yellows. Great set. If you want to treat yourself, get the bigger one, the 36 count, and I think it's like $6, but that's a great set to start with. Okay, or you could paint. So this is the Crayola washable watercolors. They're $2 at Target. Good set if you just want to start painting. And again, definitely if you're going to paint, you want a heavyweight drawing paper. So there we go. So I'm going to do, so I'm going to draw step by step. I'm going to do this picture over here. So you're just going to follow me and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the other thing you'll need that I didn't mention is definitely need a drawing pencil. Most pencils will work. If you do have a real artist drawing pencil, that's fine. I recommend a 2B. And grab a Sharpie because you want to outline your pencil lines when you're done. It really makes your drawing pop out rather than just leaving it in pencil. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you'd like to join me, I have a little artist pledge, and it goes like this. I'm an artist, I can draw, and today I can draw a Hogwarts castle. All right, so I'm going to actually draw in Sharpie so you can see it better, but I recommend drawing most of your picture in pencil. That way you can erase it and change it if you want to, and then trace with Sharpie after. So draw with pencil, trace with Sharpie, and then we'll color, so get your supplies together. So right now, just grab your pencil, Sharpie, and whatever paper you're using. Grab a piece of paper, and let's go ahead and draw. So I'm gonna start with this side of the castle, and I'm gonna move this way. So first thing I wanna do is, let's do the hills, because that'll give us a base on where to start the castle. So what you wanna do is, if your paper is 9 by 12 like this, your hills are going to be in the first third of the paper. So what does that mean? You're going to break your paper into thirds. And actually, yes, artists do use fractions and photographers. So don't worry though, it's mostly just half, halfway down, or a quarter, or halfway this way, right? So nothing too complicated. All right, so over here, starting the left side, I'm gonna make this bumpy line down for that first rocky hill. Okay, then over here, this one comes up and down, there's another one. So I'm gonna do this like this. I'm gonna come up and go down. And I'm gonna put in this other bump in here. And then we'll put in some trees in a little bit. Let's go ahead and we'll start building this castle piece by piece, and we'll move this way. So if at any time you want to pause the video, if I'm going too fast, too slow, you can do that. So over here we have a straight line down. I'm going to start here. I'm going to make a curve for the top of this castle, or this piece of the castle. So remember, this is rounded, right? So what we want to do to make it rounded is you want to curve the lines. So this actually has 1, 2, 3 curves 1, 2, 3 curves in it. And then we have this big point, which on a castle is called a turret. Oh, got one more question for you. Do you think there's really castles in England and Scotland? Do you think there's still castles standing? Guess what? There are. So if you ever want to go see real castles from 500 years ago, 800 years ago, England, Scotland, France, Germany, Spain, those are all the places I know for sure you can go see real castles. Okay, so then the next part of our, oh, hold on. This one actually has, and I'll get out of the way here, I'm going to do small windows. So of course back then they did not have electricity. They had very small windows because you don't want to let in all that cold air in the winter, and they had a lot of fireplaces. So little small windows, so just straight line with a curve. Now we're going to come up to this building. We have a straight line come out of this tower. And you know what? I just want to, let me darken this up a little bit. My line was a little slanted, a little funny. Okay, so then we have this roof here. I'm going to make another straight line. And we have this is going to go a little farther. We have another pointed tower here. So I'm going to go up and down and curve. And this will touch. Okay, and this one's going to come down like this. It's a square, a rectangle, and 2 straight lines down like this. Don't go down all the way yet, because let's put in between these 2 hills, let's put in the bridge, which looks like this. It's a little short straight line. Come over. And you know, you can always erase, if you have your pencil, you can erase it if it's too long. Okay, and that goes all the way across. Then we're gonna do it again. And don't worry if your lines aren't perfect. If you do have a ruler nearby, I was just thinking, you could actually line up your ruler and draw a perfectly straight line. And we're gonna do another one there, which gives us the space to do, so that's the bridge going across, but then we want these U's going up or under there. So we're gonna go like this. First we're gonna do these U's this way in the first section here, your first long rectangle. There's quite a few of them. So let's see, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. So I don't know if you can fit 15 of them. 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so maybe there's about 15. So the real one, that again I was doing the drawing off of. So we have this building we just drew with the roof coming into this turret with the square and coming down to our bridge. 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so 17 of those. And then we'll do these U's, and then we'll start in on this building here, which is cool. It just has a lot of windows, and there's a bit more detail on that one. So underneath here on your bridge, we have these really long, skinny, upside down U's. 6, 7, 8, about 10. Your picture, you might not be able to fit that many. My picture is very big. And they do go all the way down to the bottom here of your, I would call it like a ravine, where your two rocks are coming down, your two hills. Okay, so go ahead and put in those. I'm gonna come back over here because we just need to put in some windows, and then there's that large curving opening here that goes like this. So we're gonna go up and down here. There's 5 windows across. So again, upside down U's and straight lines. Basically going to be the shape we're using for a lot of these windows. Other than a few of them are just tiny little squares. So there's 1 here, 2 here, and there's 3 going up the side. Now, if you are working from an iPad or laptop right now, maybe you have your phone handy. If you would like to find this picture, again, I believe I found it from Google Images, Hogwarts Castle. And it's nice to have the picture right in front of you because then you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to all these little windows, which you probably can't see that well. But you can see there's the windows going up. We have our bridge we just did. There's that big opening. Then we have this other bridge we're going to put in. And yeah, so if you can find that on Google Images and work with me and with the picture, that's great. Okay, hold on. Before we do this line that's going to go across like this, I'm going to put in, so I'll call this tower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 sections to this next building. So now I'm just going to make a straight line over to this rectangle. And so inside this bridge, we have upside down U. And on your picture, it does not have to be as long. Again, my paper's huge, so I usually draw a lot bigger. So then we have upside down U and another one. In fact, you probably want to condense yours a little bit more than mine because you don't want to run out of room this way where your castle, you don't want your castle to completely go off the paper, so I would probably try to keep it a little smaller and keep it on the page. If it does like come way over here, that's fine. Okay, so this one has 2 slanted lines. So I'm here, and I'm going to make a curve. Again, remember, the building is rounded. Then you have 2 straight lines up, curve, and a point. And I'm going to do 2 skinny windows, and there's 2 more here, and upside down U. You know what, I think I'll put a line here just to give it a little more detail. I feel like that, even though it doesn't exactly have that. Okay, so building number 2, or section 2, I should say, you've got another rectangle. This one has 3 sections. And we have 3 very skinny windows, rectangles, 3 upside down U's, and 3 more upside down U's. Now, if you can't fit all that in, that's quite a lot. Just do 2. All right, so then section number 3. All right, for this one, we could actually go over like this and down to your hill and cut this because it's going to be 1, 2, 3 sections in here. And then this one has that, I believe it's some kind of like rose window here. So it's a circle. in your upside down V. And then I just put like, oh, you know what? Yeah. You can have like 4 little sections. You can just almost put like a cross in it is fine. And so now in this part you have a big upside down U and that big doorway. Okay, so then we come over to this section, and this one looks like this. So 1, 2 lines across, skinny rectangle, 3 skinny rectangles, 3 upside down U's. Again, if you can't fit that much in there, if that's just getting smushed to, you just don't have the space for it, just leave out one. So this is, here's the section we're on, and you can definitely leave out some of the windows if it's getting too crowded. Okay, so we have that. Let's do this tower. So this is gonna be on our hill here. And if you can, you want it to be about the height of this one. I think I made it a little tall this time, but that's okay. Seems like every time I draw it, it's a little different. Okay, so we have slant, slant, curve, 2 straight lines, curve, and a point. So again, if you can keep it at the same level, great. And this one has 2 skinny squares. You know what, looks like I did 2 more squares. Oh, and those are actually, I guess officially they're supposed to be upside down U's, so yes, that's all right. Okay, so behind, now we're gonna go up here and build this tower, and this is, so go behind your triangle, and we have a big rectangle here, or square. You're gonna go higher, we're gonna go up with another square, slant, slant, straight, 2 straight lines. And actually, you know what you could do is you can make it go in a little bit as you go up. This is that really tall portion of the building. Straight line and another point. Okay, so then in here we have little rectangle, little squares. Now if you get close to your triangle, you can either draw like half of a square, or you can just spread them out so they fit. And this has, this is a lot of detail on here, so if it's getting too crowded on your picture, just leave out a few. I have 6, maybe make it 4. Then you have slanted lines in here, and there's 3 tiny windows and the roof. And that is a lot. So, again, if you have this picture, if you could see this one on your phone or your laptop or whatever, even if you could print it out, that's great. So that's the entrance we did, the window. Then here we have this, and of course this is a different angle because it's kind of like slanted, like we're walking that way. I've made it facing us just because it's a lot easier than doing all these angles. But if you find this picture and you want to do it again, you could definitely draw this more detailed and stick with these the angled look. So here we just did this part. We went up and higher, and then there's our little slanted lines going on the tower, and then your last little turret up there. Okay, so we are almost there. We just need some lines on our hill and some lines on this hill. And if you can make some small evergreen trees, remember these are far away, so they're gonna be small. And I like to make them overlapping, so it just looks like there's a little bunch of trees growing down here. Real quick, if you aren't sure how to do trees, let me show you here. Real quick, let me grab another piece of paper. Okay, so what I do for evergreen trees, not everybody knows how to do these. So you just go down and in, down and in. And every time you go down, you go out a little further. And I come back to the top. And that's how I end up making them. Do a little line on the bottom. I know a lot of people tend to do this. And that's okay if that's what you do. And then they put the trunk on there. But these I call my zigzag trees because it's basically you're zigzagging. But trees actually get, if you take a look outside and see if you can find a evergreen tree, and you'll notice they get skinnier at the top, and just keep practicing. And if you want, if you get a chance, just take a piece of paper and just keep practicing the down and in, down and in. And as you do them more, you can do them lighter. Oh, if you have a Dr. Seuss book, he made the coolest trees. I love his trees. They're very like droopy. Okay, so here we have, let's go back to this, and all we have, if you'd like to put this line in, I think it's a nice way to finish off this section. We've got some water. Just do some very light lines. And I just put in like another hill back there. Now, I don't have a moon or sun. If you want to put one in, that's fine. This one gives you the idea that the moon's behind the clouds. This one, I ended up leaving some shapes for clouds if you want to do that. The other thing, before you completely finish here, just put your name small in the corner. And if you want to put 2020, if that is, this is when you're probably watching this. So, okay, then go ahead and, since mine's in Sharpie, I'm gonna go grab my colored pencils. Go ahead and take your Sharpie and trace your pencil lines. So trace the whole thing. I know it's a lot of tracing, especially all those little windows, but it really makes a difference. It makes it pop out, like this one, this one. So yeah, go ahead and trace, and then you can erase any pencil lines you didn't like. And oh, that's one last thing, I forgot. If you would like to add that stairway down, it goes, start over here on the side of your paper. It goes 2 straight lines, then come straight over, 2 straight lines down, straight over, and 2 down. So you can probably see that better. And back to this one again. There it is in the corner here. I did down, over, and down. You can also add more trees if you'd like to. I have a whole bunch here in the corner of that picture, so you could really, you could give it that forest that the kids run into, Harry and Hermione. Can make a bunch coming out of here. So it's up to you. All right, so go ahead and trace, and I'm gonna get my colored pencils. Okay, everybody, so I have a whole bunch of colored pencils in my cup here, which I've basically taken the 24 count and a few extra I had and put them in here so I could see all my colors better. So I'm going to be using the light green, dark green for the hill. And as I mentioned before, you're going to need some browns. So I actually have, let's see, this is the Crayola Brown. I also have just another brand that I'm using that has like a, I guess a medium brown. And there is a Forest Gold, which I believe, let me see if this one, that comes from the bigger pack. I think that's the 100 pack of Crayolas. You could also use peach if you have it. And then we can also use a light blue later for the water. So for now, I'm just gonna start with, how about the browns and tans that you have. And then I'm gonna do the greens first. So I'm gonna work on this one since I've been halfway through that one. And let me do the greens first, and then we'll move on to our browns. Okay, so and just so you can see it better, that's the light green, dark green Crayola. And if you have another set of colored pencils, I love this brand. If you love to do art and you do it a lot, this is called the Prismacolor set, and they were recently on sale on Amazon for a lot less than they usually are. I want to say like the 24 count was like 20 bucks, which is a really good price. So if you happen to love drawing and you want to get yourself a set maybe for your birthday or a holiday or something like that, love these. These are definitely your better quality colored pencils. Okay, so over here I was working on doing my hill. So I've got the dark green. Now, one thing when you're coloring with colored pencils, with these hills, or I guess they're really rocks, but they look like hills, you're going to color, so I definitely suggest coloring in kind of this curved way. So you're going to curve your pencil because it's going to give it that look that the rock, this hill is curving. And then, so we're going over this hill, so fill in your hill. So I have the dark green. You could use dark green first, you could use light green. I would definitely put light green more on the top. Gives it the look that the sun is hitting it. So this is, so you're blending your colors here, two colors. And you can put them like right on top of each other. Like here I can have the light green, and then I'll put dark green. The other thing now for your trees, what I like to do with my trees is take your dark green and then take a blue, that's black. So if you take your blue and do your tree dark green, there's a few options with trees here. You could do the blue on top. And it's cool, it gives it more of an evergreen look. And the other option is you could also do your trees a lighter green. You could do a pattern, you could kind of do all of those. Okay, so that's that hill. So I would do, then I would move on and again, use the same colors over here on this hill. And if you have any different greens, like this set has yellow green, jade green, green aqua, so you could kind of get a lot of blending with all of those. You could kind of combine all of those on there. So I'm going to move on to the building. So I have, again, the brown, a tan, and like a medium brown. So what I suggest is making each section a different color. That way the whole thing doesn't just look brown, right? So this one I started to do a tan, then I have a brown, kind of a tan with a light tan. So same thing, just moving to each section and just trying to do a different brown on each one. It doesn't have to be brown. Your castle could be another color. Oh, also these openings are not the same color as the building. You have to remember they're a little lighter because you're actually entering that space. So what you could do with these, oh, you know what? Get a black also if you happen to have the, there's the Crayola blue, that might help. A gray, here's my black, right? So Crayola black. You could also do the black on like different sections. I would just use it very lightly so it almost looks like a gray. So you could put it on this, maybe on the top of the bridge here. You could also blend black with brown, which I like. That looks pretty nice. So let me do that. What if we do that here? So this is black with brown. And then this space here is actually the sky. So you're not going to, don't color in that. That's going to be your sky color. So let's go and move over to here. So this one I started to do the top. And I was doing like a medium brown. Sometimes this is also called sienna brown if you have something like that. If you are doing watercolors, the only thing, let me grab this set. So you're kind of stuck with like this one brown. You can tell I've been mixing colors on my lid. You can actually get a really nice gray with this set. This is a prang set you can get on Amazon. This one you can actually mix the brown and blue, and you can get a really nice gray from that. If you want a light brown when you're doing your watercolors, if you got this set, the Crayola, what you want to do is you can't mix the blue and brown to make gray with this, but so don't mix these two. It's not going to make a good gray. But you can take brown, so you can at least have a brown and a light brown by just putting yellow into your brown. And again, I just mix it on the lid. The other thing you could do is if you're doing watercolor, take your black, get a lot of water in it, water it down, it'll make a gray. So you can have a gray, a brown, and a tan with that set. So over here, let's see, so I'll do these towers. I have a really light tan here. I'll do, let's see how this looks. You know, and sometimes I'll put a color on and, you know, I might not like that much. I think that's too light. So what I'll do this one because they're symmetrical. Symmetry, which means if you folded that in half, they would match, right? So that's too light. So what I'm thinking is then I would probably take maybe my medium brown. I think I'll take the dark brown and see how that looks on top of that. If you have another piece of paper, like a copy, just a thin piece of copy paper from like mom or dad's printer, you could definitely take like the one I was doing the trees on. You could you know, kind of test your colors out and see how you like the two colors together. Like if you have a brown and a tan, and you could test that. You could also do, you can also do this with watercolor as well. So you can actually mix your like brown and yellow and see how that looks. Here we could do black. Let's do a black and a brown, see how that looks. So that's another way to test your colors and find colors that you want to use. Okay, so, oh yeah, okay, so I'm putting brown here. So I'm putting it on top of that, what was that called, like goldenrod? Or almost a, not a sienna, but a, like a light golden color. I'm gonna put a little brown over here. I used kind of a lightish tan. I'll make that a little darker. And same here. So, you know, once you color it, if you color pretty lightly, you might want to go back in and just, like I said, after you tested some colors out, maybe you want to use those colors on top of each other. Okay, so I have that. So the front here, you know what? I think I like the brown and black combination. So I'll do some brown first. And I'll put some black on top. Again, I'm doing it really lightly, and I'm just making lines basically going down. I don't want to, I don't really want to do it too hard. The other thing you could do is take your black on top of your brown, and really lightly, you could give one side of your, all your turrets, you could give them a shadow here like that. Like this one, for example, with the moon over here, is actually light on this side and dark on that side. So it would be the opposite. So light here, dark here. So it's up to you where you want to put your shadow, depending on where your light is. So again, just keep going. It's going to take me a while to finish this one because my paper is huge. But you know, so you've got this part here going across, and in here, don't forget when you're coloring in here, oh here we could do this. If you take your black, again, super light, even just your pencil, you could leave your pencil shading. If you do little slanted lines, it'll give it the look that that you can like go in through these U's. So we could do that for a shadow. And don't forget, the actual bridge is this part here. So you don't necessarily want to color the inside of the U's, you want to color around them. Like that. Okay, everybody, so keep going and finish, you know, your hills here. Don't forget your water. You could mix your blue with a little light blue here. And then if you want to do the yellow and orange sky, I think that looks really nice. Again, it depends on if it's night or day in your picture. Yellow. So yellow and orange together look really nice. You could do something like that. If you're painting, I don't have a watercolor sample here, but this looks great in watercolors. Yellow with orange mix. Just put your yellow on first and then just dab some orange into the wet yellow. If you do want a night sky, like I was mentioning before, you could do Actually blue and purple look great together. I have my purple. So yeah, your blue and purple look great together for a night sky if you want to do something like that. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this program, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Again, I'm art teacher Amy, and have a great month. Bye.